Hello, Trinity family. This is Pastor Dewar, and this is your Theology in 3. I'd like to start today with a passage from Genesis chapter 12. We'll look at verses 1 through 3. The Lord said to Abram, "Go from your country, your people, your father's house, to the land I will show you. I will make you into a great nation. I will bless you. I will make your name great, and you will be a blessing. I will bless those who bless you, and whoever curses you, I will curse. And all the peoples of the earth will be blessed through you." So Abraham went as the Lord had told him, and Lot went with him. Abraham was 75 years old when he set out from Haran. This is an awesome passage. This is the first instance where we see Abraham, and Abraham's story dominates much of Genesis. This is really interesting because this has a shift in the biblical story. Genesis 1 through 11 focuses on God's relationship with the world. But then Genesis 12 through 50 shows God's relationship with one particular family. That God chooses one family out of all the families of the earth to bless, to make promises to. And then we see his relationship with this one family. Now, this is interesting also because of the promise God makes. The first thing and most important thing is that God makes a promise to bless Abraham and that Abraham would be a blessing. Now, at this time, Abraham has no children, and the blessing of which God speaks is that he would have a son. And so this is a really interesting blessing because of the promise that God would bless all the nations of the earth through Abram. And that is cool because it's not really talking about Abram or Abraham as we talk about him, or even Isaac or Jacob or any of the sons, or even the whole nation of Israel. This blessing is really referring to one particular descendant of Abraham's, and that is, of course, Jesus. Now, we as Christians look at that and we see this story and we see all these promises of God fulfilled in Jesus, that in Jesus all the nations of the earth are blessed, that all the nations of Mesopotamia and Egypt and Israel and Greece and America are all blessed through Jesus, that in Jesus we have the forgiveness of sins, we have everlasting life, and we have reconciliation with God. And so that's the most important thing. But there's another thing that's important in the biblical story here, and that's the promise of the land. God is choosing a family to create into a nation through which he will bless the world, and a nation needs a place to live. And so he promises them the land of Canaan. And so in this story we see that Abraham leaves home and he goes to a real place that still exists today, that you and I can travel to, that we can go and look and see how God interacted with his people, and how that interaction with God's people is in the stones and the dirt, in the sky and the wind and the water of the place, that we can walk and we can feel the heat on our face, and we can feel the crunch of the stones beneath our feet, and we can walk where Abram walked. We can see what Abram saw, and we can see how God's relationship with him is told in the story of the land. I pray that you have a blessed rest of your day, and I look forward to seeing you soon.